Will Walker Buehler return this season? Who is the best prospect to stash for the second half? Join us today where we provide you with the best mustache players heading into the All-Star break on today's action-packed episode of Locked On Fantasy Baseball.
You are Locked On Fantasy Baseball, your daily fantasy baseball podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, fantasy baseball fanatics, and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Baseball podcast, brought to you by the Locked On Sports Network, your team every day. As always, we're your number one source of fantasy baseball knowledge, and thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. I'm your host, Dominic Martino, and back in action, my co-host, my partner in crime, my best friend, Matthew Wane.
Yo, what's up, guys?
You can find us on all social media platforms and podcasting apps. And if you're listening on one like Apple or Spotify that allows 5-star ratings and reviews, we would truly appreciate it if you could do that for us. Helps to grow the podcast and, just as a big, big thing. And we appreciate everyone that's already done it and everyone that's going to do it in the future. Also, if you're watching on YouTube and you haven't already, hit that little bell below. Subscribe to the podcast. Also gives you a notification every time we drop a new episode. And lastly, but most importantly, subscribe to us on the Subtext website. On Subtext, it's a one-on-one personalized interaction, through texting. You could post, anything you want on there, any information you need. Matt and I give a lot of extra information on there as well. Extra waiver wire guys, extra players to stash, injury updates, prospect call-ups as soon as they happen. It's just definitely worth your while to get there on Subtext with us. But guys, real quick, download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Last-minute tickets and the lowest prices always guaranteed. Locked On Fantasy Baseball fans, we have a fully loaded episode for you today. As always, let us be your team secret weapon, where Matt and I provide you with the best mustache players heading into the All-Star break. And Matt, who do we have up first today, my brother?
All right, we got Mr. Walker Buehler, somebody that's coming off TJ. Not exactly sure if he's actually going to pitch this year. I think it's possible for him to pitch sometime in September. Get the Verlander treatment where he comes in, pitches about 2 games and possibly 3, and see what we can get out of him. You know what I'm saying? I think Walker Buehler right now, you kind of want to go and see if you can stash him if he's out there on the waiver wire and just see how long you can hold him on the IL. Buehler has so much upside. He's actually one of my favorite pitchers. Going into last year, I actually had him ranked number 1 overall for pitching. As pitcher, I love the kid. He has such an incredible talent, and he was living up to it till I think he was starting to play hurt, and then things kind of exploded for him because he only got about 65 innings last year before he went down with TJ. In 2021, my guy, if we're forgetting who the hell he is, he had 207 innings pitched. He had 212 strikeouts. He had a 2.47 ERA with a sub-1 whip. Like, Walker Buehler has all the talent in the world. He's Dodgers pitcher, probably the best Dodgers pitcher, in my opinion, outside of when Kershaw can be, healthy every single game. But, Walker Buehler, hands down, has upside of being the number 1 pitcher when fully healthy. I don't think we're going to get that in September where he's going to be the Walker Buehler of late, but I'm going to tell you something. He's probably going to be better than anybody you're going to be able to pick up on the waiver wire at that time. So if you're struggling with pitching, your pitching's a little mediocre right now, and you've got pretty much a playoff spot pretty much locked up, all you got to do is pretty much maintain and don't fall off, then Walker Buehler may be a great stash for you going into the playoffs where he may be able to take your team from about here all the way to up here. So that's Walker Buehler for you.
Yeah, Matt, I'm pretty much spot on with everything you said there, to be honest with you. I really don't have too much to add. Walker Buehler is 19% owned on Yahoo. So there is room, man. There's room right now. If you have that open IL spot, or I know there's leagues that even do unlimited IL spots. If he's out there, definitely a mustache, in my opinion. From what I've been reading, he's looking to return around September 1st. Kind of the way Tyler Glasnow did last year. We didn't think Glasnow was going to return, and give too much of an impact last year. But to be honest with you, I picked Glasnow up in a lot of leagues, and he was, helping you win those championships, to be honest. He pitched a lot more and a lot better than everyone thought he was going to. If you can get 4 Walker Buehler starts and most of them coming in the playoffs, it's definitely going to be worth it to add Walker Buehler. As Matt mentioned, when Walker Buehler's healthy, definitely one of the best pitchers in baseball. In my opinion, top 10 pitcher in all of baseball, top 10 fantasy guy. So even if you play in one of those keeper leagues where you keep maybe 8 to 12 guys in that range, if he's still floating out there on the waiver wire and you could stash him, it's not only you don't have to keep him, but play keep away from that last place team or the team that doesn't really have the great keepers. You're playing keep away so that team can't keep him and he's draftable for you next year. But let's keep it pushing here. Let's move on to our next guy, and it's Trevor Story. Trevor Story's getting closer to returning, and another guy, I forget exactly what the injury was with Story. I think there was a few different things going on with him, but you know what? He's working his way back. The Red Sox need the boost in that lineup, to make that push. And there's actually an update. Story's been throwing from 160 to 170 feet. He's going to continue his workout, and they're not really committing to a timetable here. And it's going to be a long rehab assignment. They're saying at least 20 games for him, 20 days, 20 games for Trevor Story on his rehab assignment. Could be back sometime in August or September. And Story's a good power threat. He's a good speed threat. He's batting average has been a little bit mediocre over the last few years, but I think Story definitely has some upside. He's currently owned in 40% of Yahoo leagues. That's actually a lot higher than I thought. Second base has been very, very tough to come by this year, especially a good guy like Story that can contribute in, honestly, 4 out of the 5 major categories, because the runs and RBIs could be solid for him hitting in the middle of that Red Sox lineup. The average is the only thing that I ever really truly question with Story out of course. But you know what? You could do a lot worse, finding a player to stash heading into the All-Star break. I do like Trevor Story.
Yeah, no, I mean, outside of the fact that he's on Boston, which, that's just me being biased, I actually do like Story's potential. He's definitely worth at this point stashing, seeing what happens, especially with the second base layout. But yeah, let's move on here. Let's talk about another guy here that's injured. And let's talk about Mr. John Means. He's real mean when he's actually healthy, which, last year he wasn't. He went down. I'm trying to find out his thing. I think it was he suffered a back strain. So
I'll double check it for you, brother.
Wouldn't come up fast enough. But in 2021, my guy actually had a really good season in 146 innings pitched. He had 134 strikeouts, a 3.62 ERA, and a 103 whip. Those are solid season numbers. 2020, you were pretty disappointed with him. But, hey, who wasn't disappointed in the year 2020 except for a few players? Because in 2019, we all thought the breakout was here. In his second year in the bigs, he had a really good season. He's never really been a K per 9 guy. But again, pitching landscape, who are you really going to get that's going to be high-end talent? John Means, if he was healthy coming into this year, we probably would have had him ranked in our top 50 pitchers, somebody that would have probably been a little bit more on the sneakier picks. So John Means is somebody that you definitely need to keep an eye on if you can stash him and just see where life takes you. Because also, too, we all know the Baltimore Orioles are just absolutely steamrolling teams right now, and there's a lot of potential for him. I don't know when he's going to return, but I think it's sooner than later.
Yeah, he actually got Tommy John as well, and he had a setback, so he was actually supposed to be back by now, but he's also now eyeing an August return, mid-August. And Matt, you talked about that 2021 monster season, right, with the 3.6 ERA.
Yep. Yes, I did.
And very, very good whip for John Means. He's always shown good control. That's one thing that's kind of been consistent throughout his career. Very, very good control for John Means, a career 108 whip. So I think John Means is, Matt, you kind of hit all the nails on the head. I'm not going to just go back and repeat everything you said. Did we give his ownership percentage, Matt?
I did not.
So let me see real quick. John Means is currently, Matt, I don't know if you have that handy. I do not. Actually.
I don't, but I can pull that up. Oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks.
My guy is 3% owned, so he's definitely out there.
There you go.
Yeah.
But before we move on and we talk about we got a guy from the Twins that's coming back, another second baseman. We got an outfielder that Matt absolutely hates, to be honest. And then we got the prospects coming up, all the great prospects that can make an impact for your fantasy team in the second half. But let me toss it over to my brother Matt, because he's got some good guys for us to talk about.
Yep. Have you ever tried to buy tickets and see your favorite artist sports teams and wound up being stressed out by how much a hassle it can be? Buying tickets to your favorite to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful at all. That's why you need the Gametime app. Gametime is a fast way to buy tickets for sports, music, comedy, theater, anything near you. With killer deals on last-minute tickets, their best price is guaranteed. You can stop stressing out over tickets and start getting hype for your event coming up. Using Gametime app is super rewarding with flash deals, last-minute tickets, easy to find, and buy tickets from every kind of event in your area. Images of even how your seat's going to look, so you can see if there's actually going to be a pole right in the middle of your seat. So maybe you don't want to buy that one. So that's even a little bit better of an advantage when buying Gametime app. They're the lowest price guaranteed, event cancellation protection, so you'll get your money back. I mean, there's a reason why it's the fastest growing ticketing app in the country. Download Gametime app today, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms and conditions may apply. Again, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. And guys, honestly, little personal note, I truly love Gametime. I've been using it before I even started with Locked On. I've been on them for like 5-6 years. Just bought my Luke Combs tickets over at the link. So, you see me strolling around a little wobbly, why. But, Gametime app is going to help me get there. So Gametime is 100% a great app to download. And everydayers, new listeners, and, also big shout out to everybody that's become a subscriber on YouTube over the last 24 hours. Man, it's been great to see you guys hopping on here, like almost up to like 75 on the day. I love all you guys being a part of this. And, if you guys like the podcast so far, there's a great way to support us by joining our subtext platform, the Diamond Club. By subscribing to Locked On Fantasy Baseball subtext website and becoming a member to our Everydayers Diamond Club, you can again get unlimited direct access to us through one-on-one texting conversation. As a part of the Diamond Club, you'll be receiving instant alerts and expert opinions on prospect call-ups, injuries, details on waiver wire recommendations. But that's not all. We'll probably be answering all your baseball questions that you need and have wants at any time as fast as we humanly can get to them. It's an awesome thing. If you need to find the link, it's right below in the description of all our podcasts, wherever you're listening or watching on YouTube, things like that. It's also available on our link tree. So go there, check it out. Give it a shot at least. Like, this is something I'll throw out there for everybody. It's free for 14 days. If you like what we're putting out and you want to continue to get the information, stay with us. If you don't, give us feedback so how we can improve, and then cancel it. And then if you choose to come back, hey, we'd love to have you back. Give us a shot, see what we're doing, and please, let us know how we're doing so we can keep providing great information for you guys. All right, guys. I'm whooped. I usually make fun of Dom for this, but man, you could take this next one. Sheesh.
Yeah, Matt, I won't beat up on you like you do to me, because you know what, I'm actually a good friend. Nah, I'm joking. Matt's actually my best friend. Matt's very good to me. Matt's very good to me. But I know you guys are here for the fantasy baseball talk, and let's talk about Jorge Polanco. Now, Jorge Polanco is dealing with a little bit of a hammy issue, but he's supposed to be back sooner than later, coming into the second half. And, he's got decent speed, not like amazing speed, but, he chips in steals. The power is legit. If you look back at that 2021 monster season, he had 33 homers in 152 games. I don't think he'll match that kind of pace. But you know what? He's already got 9 doubles and 5 homers on the year in only 30 games. So that kind of shows, hey, he does have the upside. That Twins lineup, man, I really hope they could pull it together. I hope Royce Lewis, comes back sooner than later. I hope Carlos Correa figures this out, because it's been an atrocious loss season for Correa. And you know what? Polanco's a career 270 hitter, so if he gives you power, he gives you some RBIs, he gives you, a plus batting average, I think it's going to be worth it to stash him. Second base has been atrocious. That's why I kind of wanted to bring Polanco up in case you're looking for a second baseman out there. He's 36% owned on Yahoo. Hey, you know what? He might be under, him and Story is close. Matt, who do you think? Him or Trevor Story? That's actually a pretty good debate, to be honest with you.
Honestly, I like Story's upside. So if we're ranking who I want to go after, it's Story, then Polanco. But one thing I will say is Polanco is a slow starter. So usually he's a second half player. So let's see what happens. I mean, it could be weather related, where it's just like the warm weather just agrees with Polanco, or maybe it's just, hey, it takes him a long time to go. So he's a little bit more on the risky side on terms of like who's the better one. If you have a choice, obviously Story, but if you don't, Polanco may be a better stash just based off of the fact that the warm weather may agree with him. Is that all you got on him? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take
Yeah,
over.
no, that's good. No, I was kind of passing it your way, but let's keep it pushing. Let's move on to this next guy.
All right, let's talk about Mr.
Your
Tyler
best friend.
O'Neill. Yeah, I can't really stand him, but we're not in draft season, so this is where I can tell you to pick him up. Tyler O'Neill has all the power in the world for those 15 minutes. He's going to be healthy. So right now, it's that 15 minutes. He's not healthy. But hey, let's see what happens. He's going to come back soon, I believe. He's nearing a rehab game. So that's, the second he gets that's about a week. And boom, he's up. So time to press the trigger on scooping him up if you don't have power on your lineup or if you're missing guys that have gone down. Tyler O'Neill is definitely somebody that can rock the ball out of the park every single game. So, Tyler O'Neill definitely need to add at this point. My prediction is if he played the full second half, which I 1000% will not happen. He will be on the IL between now and then. He will probably have, if he did play, I would say about 15 to 17 home runs for the second half. So if he does manage to go up, there's your power numbers right there. And the only thing he's going to do is mutilate your batting average. But if you're getting those power numbers and those counting stats, who cares? Tyler O'Neill needs to be stashed.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler O'Neill has a lot of upside, man. It's really just an upside play for the 28-year-old. He's still in right in that prime of his career. He just can't stay healthy, and it's been really sad to see. When he finally did stay healthy for most of the season in 2021, in 138 games, 482 at bats, it was 89 runs, 26 doubles, 34 bombs, 80 RBIs, 15 steals, and a 286 batting average. I don't think the batting average from that year is real, but he's a career 250 hitter. He can give you some power, he can give you some speed. I think the Cardinals got to figure this out in the second half. And you know what? Tyler O'Neill, maybe he gets showcased for a tiny little bit if he comes back right after the All-Star break. And you know what? Maybe they move him. Maybe the Cardinals move him to another team, try and get something else out there, shake things up a little bit. Maybe that's what Tyler O'Neill needs. Sometimes guys get traded halfway through the season and they, hey, it's a wake-up call, new environment. They get some new coaches talking to them. Maybe he gets a trainer that he likes that can try and keep him healthy. But you know what, O'Neill, just the upside is truly, truly ridiculous. So you know what, if you got that extra IL spot, you're looking for a big impact bat that could fit into your lineup. Tyler O'Neill's only 43% owned. I definitely think he's worth a stash. So let's move on to the prospect portion of this episode, and we got some more Baltimore Orioles, if you could actually believe that. To be honest, I mean, it's just they have so many guys in that system. And let's talk about Heston Kjerstad. Heston Kjerstad is somebody that I really like. I got him on stashed in one of my big time leagues where we do like a whole minor league system. And you know what? He's been pretty solid this season. So for Kjerstad, it's 71 games, 277 at bats, 52 runs, 17 doubles, 5 triples, 16 bombs, 35 RBIs, 4 steals, and he's batting .314. He hit .357 last year, .309 the year before, .448 the year before. Guy's just always been over a 300 batting average. I truly, truly think, that Baltimore is going for. I kind of talked about this on the pod yesterday with I was talking about Grayson Rodriguez, but I'll give it to you from a hitter perspective. I think they're slowly adding these guys into the lineup. We've seen Cowser, we've seen Westberg, we've seen a lot of these guys get the call already, to fit in there with Adley and the rest of those young bucks, getting it done. I wouldn't be surprised by the end of the year if we saw Kjerstad and this next guy come up and really just add to what the Orioles have going on there. I truly think in 2 to 3 years, this is going to be a team that's going to be perennially competing for championships. I'm just trying to pull Kjerstad's ownership percentage up here, but, my computer doesn't want to work with me for some reason. But Matt, I'll pass it to you. I don't know. I'll try and get his ownership percentage pulled up. But Heston Kjerstad, guys, he's definitely worth it. Big guy too, 6'3", 205. Oh, there we go, brother. I appreciate it. But take it away, Matt. What's your thoughts on Kjerstad?
Honestly, I like the talent. I mean, clearly, Baltimore's just got something going on. Whoever their GM is needs to, be robbed to the Yankees because this is just not cool. But yeah, Dom, before we move on and, I start giving takes on other guys, we have a bunch of great prospects, about 4 more names for you. And, like Dom said, a big Baltimore prospect as well, another one. So, Dom, take it away, sir.
Yep. So, guys, this episode is brought to you by BetterHelp. Getting to know yourself can be a lifelong process, especially because we're always growing and changing. Therapy is all about deepening your self-awareness and understanding, because sometimes we don't know what we want or why we react the way we do until we talk things through. BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self-discovery from where you are to where you want to be. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Discover your potential with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnMLB today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnMLB. And guys, mental health is super, super serious. I like to, talk about this for a second when I do the BetterHelp ad, because it, a lot of us don't take it as seriously as we should, especially when it comes to being, a man. Not that women don't need it too. We all need it, but I know sometimes men, are taught to be manly as a kid. Hey, just stick it out, just tough it through. Hey guys, a lot of people don't make it because of mental health issues, and it's just something to take super, super seriously. If you need the help, go get it. Give yourself a chance. Sign up for BetterHelp today. But all right, Matt, we good with Kjerstad? Are we good with him?
Yeah, we're good. I think I'll take this next guy.
Yeah, of course. Go for it, brother.
All right, we got Mr. Connor Norby. I love him. I actually have him in that league that Dom was referring to. Second base eligibility, third base eligibility, outfield eligibility. But I think on YouTube right now, on Yahoo, it's just second base. So look out for that, because he's going to be flexible when he does get the call. But depending on where he gets placed in that lineup, I love this kid a lot. I mean, this year he's rocking and rolling with 337 at bats, 60 runs already, 24 doubles, a triple, 11 home runs, 56 ribs, 5 stolen bases. He's batting about 282 on the year. Like, he has really great numbers on top of that. Like, look at 2022. He had 477 at bats, 92 runs, 23 doubles, 4 triples, 29 bombs, 73 ribs, 16 stolen bases. He batted about 279. So realistically, if he gets the call, which I don't foresee happening probably until late August, let him get the cup of coffee. But who knows? This is Baltimore. They may call him up tomorrow. So, make me put my foot in my mouth. But I think right now there's still a lot of play in that lineup where I don't know if there's going to be a direct path for him to get up there. So right now, Norby, what I think is in that cup of coffee, he's gonna have a little bit of a slow start, because the batting average, right, is really just held up by the fact that he could just put the bat to the ball, other than him having plate discipline, because he has 85 strikeouts to 26 walks, and in 2022 it was 114 to 55. So he's a new age batting average guy. So it's going to take time for him to really translate in that department. I probably see him hitting about 250, but I think ultimately he is worth an ad, especially with second base looking the way it is. He may be a boost, and he's, not the prototypical second baseman. He's kind of more on like, a Mr. Lowe kind of, perspective, where he has more power and less speed, even though he could chip in about 16 stolen bases. So like, Norby is a different type of second base that we're used to. And hey, if you could sneak in some power in your second base and you have stolen bases covered in other directions and other positions, Norby's great. And honestly, you should be looking at him. I wouldn't say stash him just yet, unless you're starting to hear he's really starting to heat up. But check out Connor Norby.
Yeah, Matt, great take on Norby. He's 1% owned on Yahoo at the moment. And I just keep finding myself wanting to rant about this Baltimore minor league system. Once all these guys get up there and rocking and rolling, I wouldn't be surprised if, they're all contending to be all-stars, because they're all just going to play off of each other. They can grow together as a nice young core. Just a lot of great things to look forward to as far as the Baltimore Orioles prospects go. But let's move on to another team that's notoriously actually pretty good with prospects, and it's the Tampa Bay Rays. Let's talk about Junior Caminero, one of the just youngest players that's moving through the minor league system super fast. He's 19 years old, and this kid is just like just one of the wonders down there. He's 6'1", but he's really got to put on some weight at 160. If this kid gets even up to puts on 15, 20 pounds of muscle, forget about it. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. So far this year, Junior Caminero, 66 games played, 255 at-bats, 48 runs, 13 doubles, 4 triples, 16 bombs, 52 RBIs, 3 steals, 333 batting average, and this kid does it all. He's 5'2" kind of guy. The speed isn't really like he's not stealing the bases. It's more about will when it comes to stealing bases. But the kid's fast. He's got legs on him. So I think when he comes up, to the majors, Tampa doesn't let their guys run wild. But you know what? I think they'll let him run a little bit more. He could give you. And once again, if he grows into that man body, forget about it. 30 home run plus power, the speed, give you 10 plus steals. The batting average has always been, over 300. 1 year, 295 down there. But you know what, man, that's close enough to 300 that you could just say he's a 300 hitter down there. I think Junior Caminero is somebody that we definitely need to look out for. I don't know if he gets the call this year. Maybe it's a cup of coffee, just enough to hold him back from, getting that, losing that rookie eligibility. So if they start Junior Caminero on the roster next year, they get one of those compensatory picks like Seattle did this year with Julio. But you know what? Third base prospect, I think Junior Caminero at 2% owned. Definitely somebody throw on your watch list and see where this thing goes with the kid.
Yeah, great take, Dom. I don't think I need to add a single thing. Let's move on to a big arm that I really do like this year, and that's Mr. Ben Brown. My guy is 6'6", 210 pounds in that man body. I love it. Honestly, this kid throws on another 10 pounds, and he's going to be seriously dangerous. This season alone, my guy is just doing his thing in Double-A, where he had 20 innings pitched. He had 30 strikeouts and a 0.45 ERA. He struggled as he got into Triple-A, where he got the promotion, but I think he's returning to norm here and kind of getting his ground under. With 50 innings pitched, he's starting to bring that down over the last month or so. But I mean, the strikeouts are there. Being that he has 70 innings pitched, my guy has 104 strikeouts. He throws gas. I really do like this kid a lot. And at 6'10", 210 pounds, a guy like that can be an absolute danger when he does get the call. Ben Brown is somebody you want to be taking a look at. I don't know if he's going to get the call. He may be one of those guys in September that we are looking at. And if he does get the call, he may be worth adding. So just keep an eye on. Do not stash, but keep an eye on.
Yeah, with a lot of these young kids, I don't know if it's necessarily a stash unless you're in a league, like a deep league with some, bench spots, dynasty type league where your minor league system and these guys just aren't owned. Then maybe it's ad, but for, redraft and stuff like that, it's just to keep an eye on these guys. With Ben Brown, he's somebody that, as Matt mentioned, he's very, very good in Double-A, but as he got to Triple-A, started to struggle a little bit. I think he's been turning it around, over his last couple of starts. But you know what? The whip is the thing that really bothers me about Ben Brown. The control isn't really where it needs to be. He needs to learn how to locate that fastball a little bit better with a 1.40 whip in the minors. Not really what you want to see from one of these young guys. But something that we've talked about with like a Bryce Miller. I know Bryce Miller, isn't, doing what he was. But you know what? A lot of minor league pitchers have come out and said this year, hey, well, you know what? My the major league team told me, hey, I need to work on my fastball, so don't throw the other pitches as much. So you know what? Sometimes when you're only really throwing one pitch, you're not getting the results that you really would get if you were throwing your whole arsenal. So maybe that's what's going on with Ben Brown here. I can't really confirm or deny, but you know what? The talent's there. He's got a little bit of that Andrew Abbott, Spencer Strider in him. Not as good, but you know what? As far as the strikeouts go, he can strike a lot of guys out. And that is what I like about Ben Brown. But let's move on to this last guy. We'll keep it pushing real quick. We'll keep it nice and short for you with this one. Let's talk about Tyler Soderstrom. He's a catching prospect for the Oakland Athletics. And I know you hear Oakland Athletics and you're like, well, you know what, Dom, I'm not really sure, if I want any Oakland Athletics on my teams. But you know what? This is one guy that you really might want on your team. Soderstrom is 6'1", 200 pounds, growing into that big baseball body that we like to talk about here. And, his numbers in the minors have been pretty solid for a catching prospect. 69 games, 280 at-bats, 45 runs, 20 homers, 15 doubles, and a 254 batting average. But you know what? The year before, he had 267, and the year before that, he had 306. So there is some upside to him, but, once you get to the bigs, he probably around like a 240, 250 hitter with some pop. And you know what? Once again, it's more maybe those two catcher leagues, AL only type of thing. Keep an eye on him, and that's Tyler Soderstrom. Once again, Oakland Athletics catching prospect.
Great job, Dom. Honestly, just take it away, sir.
All right, guys, so that is all for us today. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, rate, and review. Also, thank you for making Locked On Fantasy Baseball your first listen each and every day. We truly appreciate all of our everydayers and new listeners for continuing with us on this journey every day. And we hope we can, get you to that everydayers championship. And if you, join us on the Subtext website, we'll definitely be able to get you there because we're answering all of your questions. We're providing extra material for you. And it's just truly, truly worth it. But guys, we'll have a new episode for you tomorrow. I think we might be switching things up a little bit here, with the All-Star break on. We might talk about some more fun, interesting things rather than our normal schedule. But, we're not making any guarantees. But, just lock on and check us out. Until then, see you.
Peace.